Welcome to the fifth episode in our series on information warfare. In this episode, we will do a deep dive into disinformation and misinformation. What's the difference anyway? Let's be honest, nobody likes being lied to. It's a universal truth that cuts across cultures and societies. Lies can damage relationships, erode trust, and create a sense of betrayal that's hard to shake off. But in the age of the internet, lies can spread faster than ever before. A single false post can go viral in minutes, reaching thousands, if not millions of people. The speed and reach of digital communication have made it easier for misinformation to proliferate. We're constantly bombarded with information, and it can be tough to separate fact from fiction. Every day we're exposed to a deluge of news articles, social media updates, and online content. The sheer volume can be overwhelming, making it difficult to discern what's true and what's not. Two words that often get thrown around are disinformation and misinformation. They might seem interchangeable at first glance, but they represent two very different concepts. They might sound similar, but there's a crucial difference. Understanding this difference is key to navigating the complex landscape of modern information. Misinformation is like accidentally spreading a rumor you heard at the water cooler. It's the kind of false information that gets passed along without any malicious intent. It's false information, but you're not intentionally trying to deceive anyone. You might have heard it from a friend or read it somewhere and believed it to be true. You might even believe it yourself. It's an honest mistake, a misunderstanding that gets perpetuated because it seems plausible. Think of it like that time your uncle shared an article about a giant squid attacking a cruise ship, only to find out it was from a satirical news site. He wasn't trying to mislead anyone, he just didn't realize the source was unreliable. Disinformation, on the other hand, is a whole different beast. It's not about making an innocent mistake, it's false information spread deliberately to mislead or harm. The intent behind disinformation is malicious, aiming to deceive people for a specific purpose. It's like that friend who starts rumors about you just to make themselves look better. They know what they're saying isn't true, but they spread it anyway to manipulate others. Disinformation is a weapon used to manipulate public opinion, sow discord, and even influence elections. It's a tool for those who want to control the narrative and shape perceptions to their advantage. The difference between the two boils down to intent. Misinformation is an honest error, while disinformation is a calculated lie designed to deceive. Misinformation is an honest mistake. Disinformation is a calculated lie. Recognizing this distinction is crucial in today's information age. And in a world where information is power, understanding the difference is more important than ever. Being able to identify and challenge disinformation can help protect our communities and ensure that truth prevails. Disinformation campaigns are like cockroaches. They thrive in the dark and multiply quickly. These campaigns are designed to deceive and manipulate, preying on our fears and biases to spread falsehoods and confusion. They use a variety of sneaky tactics to spread their lies far and wide. From fake social media accounts that look real to clickbait headlines designed to grab your attention, these tactics are crafted to mislead. Let's shine a light on some of their favorite tricks, because understanding them is the first step in combating them. Propaganda. Remember those cheesy posters from history class? The ones with the muscular worker holding up a hammer and sickle? Those were classic examples of propaganda. That's propaganda-biased or misleading information used to promote a political cause or point of view. It's been around for centuries, shaping public opinion and manipulating perceptions. Today, propaganda is alive and well, often disguised as legitimate news or social media posts. It can be harder to spot because it blends in with the constant stream of information we consume daily. Data fabrication, making stuff up, is Disinformation 101. This involves creating fake data, statistics, or even entire events to support a false narrative. These fabricated pieces of information are then spread to create a false sense of credibility. Remember those claims about millions of fraudulent votes in the last election? Such claims are a prime example of data fabrication. Yeah, that was data fabrication at its finest. These false claims were designed to undermine trust in the electoral process and sow discord. Astroturfing. Ever wonder how some online movements seem to gain traction overnight? It might be astroturfing, creating the illusion of grassroots support where there is none. It might be astroturfing, creating the illusion of grassroots support where there is none. This tactic is used to give the appearance of widespread support for a cause or product. Basically, it's like paying a bunch of people to stand on a street corner and pretend to love your new brand of toothpaste. This manufactured support can influence real people to join the cause, thinking it's more popular than it actually is. Deepfakes. Imagine a video of your favorite celebrity endorsing a product they've never even heard of. That's the terrifying power of deepfakes. AI-generated videos that can make anyone appear to say or do anything. These videos are so realistic that they can be incredibly difficult to distinguish from the real thing. Deepfakes can be incredibly convincing and are increasingly being used to spread disinformation and sow distrust. They can damage reputations, influence elections, and create chaos. Censorship by proxy. This tactic involves silencing opposing voices by falsely flagging their content as harmful or inappropriate. It's a way to control the narrative by removing dissenting opinions. It's like calling the fire department on a restaurant because you don't like their food. This tactic is used to stifle debate and silence critics. Censorship by proxy aims to shut down debate and control the narrative. By falsely flagging content, disinformation peddlers can remove opposing viewpoints and create an echo chamber. These are just a few of the many tricks disinformation peddlers have up their sleeves. They are constantly evolving and finding new ways to deceive and manipulate. By understanding their tactics, we can be better equipped to spot and reject their lies. It's crucial to stay informed and critical of the information we encounter, so we can protect ourselves and our communities from the harmful effects of disinformation. Remember playing telephone as a kid? It was a fun game where one person would whisper a message to another, and it would continue down the line until the last person would say it out loud. The message always ended up hilariously distorted as it passed from person to person. What started as "the cat sat on the mat" could end up as "the bat wore a hat." The game was a perfect example of how information can get twisted and changed as it moves from one person to another. Misinformation works in a similar way. In today's digital age, the stakes are much higher than a simple game of telephone. It often starts with a grain of truth, but through a series of misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and exaggerations, it morphs into something completely different. This transformation can happen rapidly, especially with the speed at which information travels online. Incomplete information. Imagine seeing a headline that screams, "Study shows chocolate causes hair loss." Such a headline is designed to grab your attention and evoke a strong emotional response. Panic ensues, and people start ditching their favorite candy bars. The fear of losing hair is enough to make anyone reconsider their chocolate consumption. But what the headline conveniently left out is that the study was conducted on hamsters, not humans. This crucial piece of information changes the entire context of the study's findings. Incomplete information can be incredibly misleading, especially when it plays on our fears and biases. It's easy to jump to conclusions when we don't have the full picture. Data misinterpretation. Data can be tricky. Numbers and statistics can be manipulated or misinterpreted to support almost any argument. It's easy to draw the wrong conclusions if you don't understand the context or methodology behind it. For instance, a study might show a correlation between two variables, but without understanding the underlying factors, it's easy to misinterpret the results. For example, someone might share a graph showing a correlation between ice cream sales and crime rates. At first glance, it might seem like there's a connection. Does that mean ice cream causes crime? Of course not. The correlation is likely due to a third factor, such as warmer weather, which increases both ice cream sales and crime rates. Correlation doesn't equal causation, but that doesn't stop people from jumping to conclusions. It's a common mistake that can lead to widespread misinformation. Repetition. If you hear something enough times, you might start to believe it, even if it's not true. This is a psychological phenomenon known as the illusory truth effect. This is the power of repetition. When a false statement is repeated often enough, it can start to feel true simply because it's familiar. Disinformation agents know this and will often repeat the same lies over and over again, hoping they'll eventually stick. They rely on the fact that repetition can make even the most outrageous claims seem plausible. Exaggeration. Have you ever noticed how some stories seem to get more and more dramatic with each retelling? This is because exaggeration makes stories more engaging and shareable. Exaggeration is a common tactic used to make misinformation more sensational and shareable. A story that starts with a small kernel of truth can quickly become blown out of proportion. A minor incident can quickly snowball into a major controversy with a few embellishments here and there. This can lead to widespread panic and misinformation. Media amplification. The media plays a significant role in shaping public opinion. They have the power to amplify certain stories and bring them to the forefront of public consciousness. Unfortunately, this means they can also amplify misinformation, especially when they prioritize speed over accuracy. In the race to be the first to break a story, fact-checking can sometimes take a back seat. A single misleading tweet or blog post can quickly get picked up by major news outlets, spreading the falsehood far and wide. This can have serious consequences, as people trust these sources for accurate information. These are just a few ways misinformation can spread like wildfire in the digital age. The combination of incomplete information, data misinterpretation, repetition, exaggeration, and media amplification creates a perfect storm for misinformation to thrive. By being aware of these pitfalls, we can be more critical consumers of information and avoid falling prey to half-truths and exaggerations. It's essential to question the information we come across, seek out reliable sources, and think critically about the content we consume and share. Don't miss the next episode, where we unravel the psychological tactics used in information warfare, how our minds can be manipulated through gaslighting and psychological manipulation, and how we can fight back. Subscribe to Truth Media TV for more.